Yeah, it's kind of true. Sometimes people take one commandment to an extreme. They ignore many of the other commandments, but they take one commandment to an extreme. For example, honor thy father and thy mother. Interesting. When I look at my family and I look at my husband's family, and I'm just analyzing it from, I wouldn't say an objective perspective, but I think it's an honest perspective. The mother was so dishonored in both of our family lines. For example, I would have I'd had a very nice visit with my grandmother in Ohio, and my mother really didn't like her very much. So I would come home from visiting my grandmother, maybe having an overnight stay, or just spending a few hours with my grandmother, and my mother would just immediately just pounce and say, well, she gives you too much candy. She's bad, she's a witch. And then I began to see my grandmother in a different light because of the gossip that my mother just had this hatred. I don't know how else to describe it. But females get hate in families, they do. And yet, who's behind it? I would say 99.99999% of the time, it's another female behind the female hatred. My other grandmother, my mother's mother, was not spoken well of at all. By her own daughter and her own sibling, she was not spoken well of. Well, she's this and she's that and blah, blah, blah. And my father never spoke a horrible word about his own mother, but he had plenty of nasty things to say about my mother's mother. When does this stop? Is it, can you imagine or consider the possibility that